Welcome traders to my first ever Forexed educational video. In this video, I want to be talking about how I look at different aspects of technical analysis, put them all together to formulate a high probability trade. So to start things off, I'm on the weekly time frame for AUD/USD. And on the weekly time frame, what you want to be focusing in on is the very recent price action. So you can see, and I'm talking about the most recent 4 or 5 candlesticks. And as you can see, last week we printed a candlestick formation called the bearish shooting star. And this formation indicates that there's going to be a lot of sellers entering the market, pushing price down. I also noticed that there is a series of higher lows being formed, a lower high, sorry. So you can see that this right here is the higher high, followed by the lower high over here, and the third lower high, which would be the bearish shooting star. Okay, so right off the bat, we have a bias already. So on the weekly time frame, because of the shooting star, we know that price is going to continue on a downwards push, most likely down to the 0.705, which is the next major support level. Okay, so now let's drop down to the daily time frame. Okay, there's a lot of stuff we have to go through on the daily time frame. So as you can see, we have this liquidation zone being formed right over here. And this zone, when price reaches up to this red zone, I noticed that a lot of sellers take short positions, pushing price down. And as you can see, the most recent candlestick also formed in a bearish shooting star, engulfing the previous last 3 candlesticks. It's important to note that the moving averages on the daily time frame does indicate a bullish trend. As you can see that the blue is on top of the red. However, you can see that the moving averages are very close to each other, indicating that the momentum is not that strong. And also this candlestick, you can see that it closed below the dynamic support and resistance of the blue moving average. So you can see that it was previously acting as a support, and price managed to close all the way below the blue moving average, also closing below the weekly trend line. So there's also this singular wick high, this wick right over here, which is pretty important. You can see that this is a 0.71687 is a very important level. You can see that price comes up to it, spikes through it, but still managed to close below it. And the same thing with the next candlestick. But the third candlestick, you can see price spiked all the way through the liquidation zone and managed to close above it. And as you know, once a resistance has been broken, it turns into support. So you can see that the next 3 candlesticks is just acting as support until this candlestick closes below the singular wick high of 0.71687, closes below the blue moving average and the trend line. Okay, so before I continue on, let me just write down the confluences that I already have. So we have the weekly bearish pin bar. We have the daily engulfing pin bar being formed. We have a rejection off of the liquidation zone. Okay, we also have price closed below the MA, which of course is acting as a support. All right. We can also note that price closed below the weekly trend line. Okay, so that seems to be it for now. All right, so we have the weekly bearish pin bar, the daily engulfing pin bar over here, right? We have the rejection off the liquidation zone, right? We have price closed below the blue moving average and it closed below the weekly trend line. All right, so let's continue on. Let me just make this a bit bigger. Awesome. So now let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame. So the 4-hour time frame is very interesting. You can clearly see an uptrend being formed, and once a trend is being formed, you can also most likely identify a market structure to it. So you can see that we have been creating a higher high and higher low sequence. So we have our higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and this right here is the last higher high. As you can see, price closed down below the previous higher low, indicating that market structure has been broken. It's also important to note that the MAs are crossing over on the 4-hour time frame, indicating a bearish reversal is starting to occur, or it's about to commence. Okay, we can also notice that the singular wick high of 0.71687, we broke through it. However, the retest did not occur or did not happen. So we can look for potential retest of this broken support. So we can expect price to come up for a retest of the support before ultimately looking for sell positions. All right, we can also add on the Fibonacci tool on the 4-hour. And as you can see, the 61.80%, which is the most important Fib retracement level, lines up perfectly with the singular wick high. And so this just strengthens our confidence that price is going to be coming up to reach this level, of which we can look for potential shorts. All right, so now let me just update this list that we've got going on. All right, so we have now Fib retracement to 61.8%. Okay, remember we are waiting for this to occur. This did not happen yet, but we are waiting for this to occur. Waiting for it to occur. All right, we can also note that the 4-hour MA is crossing over. Please excuse my my spelling here. Awesome, okay. So this right here is basically what I am expecting for AUDUSD. I'm expecting price to come up to the 61.80% of around 0.71687, to which I will be looking for potential short trades back down to the major support level of 0.705. And once we enter this trade, it's important to know where our stop loss and take profit is going to be at. So our take profit can obviously be down to 0.705, but our stop loss, we want the trade to breathe a bit. And as you notice that the red liquidation zone is still very, very close to the 0.71688 level. So we just want to give it, I'd say, around 40 pips stop loss, just in case price happens to come up to the liquidation zone once more before falling back down. And if this does occur, we can also look for more short opportunities at this zone over here. All right, so that's pretty much it for AUDUSD. So AUDUSD breakdown. Today is the April 20th of 2019. So if you happen to watch this video, say a few months from now, you can always come back to today's date and you can see how this trade plays out. Okay, I will also be updating this on my Telegram. The link will be in the description or in the bio. So that's pretty much it. And here is the confluence list if you guys want to take one more glance at it before I end this video. Alright, so I hope you guys were able to learn something off of this video, and I hope to catch you guys next time.